All right, good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission work session dated Tuesday, October 12, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you who are visiting with us today. We appreciate your participation and attendance. We will begin our meeting with regular business. Review the minutes of the September 27, 2021 Commission meeting. Any comments or questions from commissioners? All right, hearing none, we will proceed. Review the Memorandum of Warrants for the period of September 18, 2021 through October 7, 2021. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, the time frame is actually September 18th through October 8th. That was a typo in our original posted minutes or posted agenda. But the memorandum warrants for that time frame was $1,990,084.53.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we will proceed now with old business. We'd like to invite Mike and Van from Waste Management, if you'd come up here to the podium and provide us with an update on where Waste Management is with regards to staffing and route management, et cetera.
Chairman, Commission, thank you so much for letting me come and address you. I wanted to give you an update on what we're doing to improve and some challenges we're facing. We started Elmore County, we started servicing them with 6 different routes, okay? We have increased that to 8 routes now. All right, so we have increased the coverage. Now, in the Montgomery District, has 14 total routes, residential routes, 8 which are in Elmore County, 2 which are in Millbrook, Casada, and Elmore, and 4 which are in Collier County. It's a total of 14. All right, we have a total of 17 residential drivers, 3 of which are in onboarding or training, the new. So they're not driving yet. And we have 3 others that are on workman's comp for different issues and injuries. Now 2 of those 3 will be back in November. So currently we are 3 drivers short for the 14 routes, okay? So that's a challenge we're facing. We do have a swing driver that's working from a different line of business, and so making up one of the spots, but he's not like a normal driver, residential driver. All right. Now, we are attempting to hire new drivers and restaff and keep existing drivers. It's a big challenge for us. We are trying, with everything we got. Since January 1, we've raised our existing drivers, bottom level, and the new hiring from a raise of $17 up to $21 an hour. Which is significant. We're also offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus, which is pretty much unheard of. We offer just day 1, you get 3 weeks paid time off. We offer free college tuition and many other benefits, which include your medical and your 401k. So we are offering also a $2,000 referral bonus to existing employees to get them to refer their friends or somebody that just get to some candidates. We're utilizing different advertising mediums such as Facebook, LinkedIn, and Indeed. So we're reaching out everywhere we can. We're even considering getting an electronic billboard in Montgomery. The results of all this advertising and everything we've done and offering, we're getting on average about 4 interviews a week. So trying to restaff has been very difficult. And it's not because we're not trying, because it's been at no level. We'll do whatever it takes. But we are trying to increase the staff. Now, one good thing about it, we have an offer out for a new route manager to increase the route manager management, okay? And we're going to hire a new route manager trainee in addition to that. So we're going to get a lot more management in place. We have hired 3 additional techs in the shop since January 1 to increase the mechanics. We have 1 hired right now. It's pending. He's a new guy. So we have a total of 8 mechanics or technicians now. And that's a headcount increase of 3 from January 1. So we're increasing that every day. Now, one big thing that has been an issue has been our customer service, the call wait times. That is improving. Is it where we want it? No, but it's improving. In January, we had 25 CSRs, okay? In April, we increased it to 35 CSRs. In September, we increased to 45 CSRs. In October, by the end of this month, we'll have 65 CSRs. In December, by the end of December, we want to have 90 CSRs. And our goal in Q1, by the end of Q1, is to be staffed at 120. So that's significant, from 25 to 120. So that should take care of it. Now, I would say 120 today, but the staffing is everywhere. Trying to get the labor, trying to get the work staff. We're having problems everywhere. But we're recruiting in our CSRs throughout the Southeast. If you just live within 50 miles of a WM district, you have an opportunity to work for us as a CSR. We've increased the wages with them as well. We're doing $14 to $16 an hour starting, depending on the location. Okay. Now training with those guys will take it's about a 4-week training process. But as I said, with 120, it should take care of it. But like I said, you just got to be patient with us. One last thing I wanted to say was communication. Commissioner Hines, I believe you've been getting the daily report from Kyron Ellis, route manager. It basically gives you a summary of the status of every route we have in Elmore County. Is that sufficient information for you?
It's great information, but it's only started the last couple of days that I've gotten those reports, and I have forwarded them on to my fellow commissioners when I've gotten those, but it only has been the last couple of days. Okay?
I haven't really been up here speaking in the past,
Right.
But I'm involved now, and I commit to you that you will get that daily.
Okay, thank you.
That's really where we're at right now. We're not where we want to be, as you know, but we're fighting every day, and we'll continue to fight.
Yes. Where are your locations for your CSRs?
There are really, majority of them are in Franklin,
Okay.
Tennessee. We have Moody, Alabama.
Okay.
Now, as far as where they're all staged, I'm not really sure where they're all staged
Okay.
well, because they're all managed by telephone now. So they don't come to a central place anymore.
Right, okay.
So I'll just add to that real quick. So since they moved to this, when COVID first hit, they moved that job to a remote job. So everybody went home. It worked. So the company has opened this up. It used to be 50 miles from the Franklin office to have a CSR. Now it's 50 miles from any operation.
Okay.
So we actually have CSRs that work this area that are all over the place. Some, we even actually have some in Florida, Mississippi, and I heard one as far away as Texas. But they all work for these two call centers. Okay. So they report to via Teams and all the communications to the managers at those two sites. But because they've opened it up to the remote locations, that's what's kind of increased the volume and coming up and going up to where we anticipated to be.
Let me tell you a funny one, and shared it with our manager and with Bart, hadn't the other three. This Saturday, I got hurt in the arm, and Sunday, I was at church and got hurt in the chest, and I went to the hospital. And here I am laying there with a monitor on, being monitored, and you know what's being brought up to me? Waste management and their trash. You can't make that kind of stuff up. That's unbelievable. And we get it at church, we get it at restaurants, we get it everywhere. But it's not your staffing that's hurting us. It's not van that's hurting us. It's what they're telling our residents that's got to change, okay? Number one, they don't know when to put your cans out anymore, so they leave them out all the time, okay? And I know you're behind on the routes, and it makes that tough. But the main thing is you're telling residents on your telemarketers or somebody is, yeah, no problem at all, we got that tomorrow. You can give them a number and do everything. They don't show up tomorrow. They show up 2 or 3 days later. That's happening on a regular basis, okay? I'm one of them. My trash last week was regular on Wednesday, and they sent me a note, we're getting it tomorrow. Well, it wasn't tomorrow, it was Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock, okay? So that has got to stop. That's what they get frustrated with. Another thing is they get frustrated with is that they're being told, and we discussed it a little bit, that they're out of trash containers. Y'all aren't out of trash containers, but somebody is telling them that. So you need to tell your CSRs, don't tell our residents you're out of trash containers. You're a multi-million-dollar company. You got them somewhere, okay? And please don't deliver them one that looks worse than the one that they got. I just had that happen in Shoal Creek, okay? Had a tire off, but they delivered one with holes in it and everything else. These are the things that management can control. And we expect y'all to control that and to help our residents and get them, happy. They only want one thing. They want their trash picked up, okay? If you can pay a corporate executive $12 million a year, you can run a waste company, okay? That's just a pure fact. That's y'all's business. As I've said before, we have different businesses that we specialize in. And y'all are in that. And you need to take your CSRs and tell them, don't be telling somebody you're going to pick it up tomorrow and you don't do it. I know there's things that do happen. Truck breaks down. Then you need to send something back out and say, hey, I'm sorry the truck broke down, okay? I don't need to hear that from Jordan Trace resident that calls me and says, hey, your truck's broke down on 111. I know we're not going to get trash now, okay? I don't need to hear that. Our management, Brittany and anybody of our employees, Heather, them don't need to hear that. They need to know it's going to be taken care of. I'm not a gambler, but it's funny on Facebook today, they're running odds 10 to 1 that the trash won't be picked up on time this week. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, okay? And I'm not trying to be ugly and not trying to be personal, but these little matters are matters that y'all can tell your CSRs, hey, we need to stop this, okay? The next thing is, have y'all ever thought about it? I'm sure you have, you're smart men. Us putting all our trash cans on one side of the road. Would that help? Would that limit? And I'll let you respond in a second to that when I finish up, okay? Because here's what we're running into now, even. And I'll take one lady in Mr. Mack's area, my area up there. There's 4 cans sitting together. They picked up 3 and left 1. Don't know why, don't know reason, but it showed they picked it up, and it didn't. And she called, of course, both of us, and said, hey, we got a problem like my trash picked up, okay? And she's a very well-thought-of lady in her community up there, and, she swings a big stick, and we need help on that kind of thing. But if you can't, answer me, can we put them all on one side to eliminate your drivers right now when we're going through a tough time? Would that help?
Absolutely would help. We're not going to get into blaming.
Oh, no, that's exactly right, exactly.
These are attempts that have been made.
Right.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Okay.
And it's not something that a lot of people want to do.
Okay.
My neighbor don't want me to put my cart on that property.
Right.
We've asked residents on, I think I got some help from Richie in one location to do that. We've asked residents to do some of this.
Okay.
At some point in time when we have to back down roads.
Right.
To do these things. We get cooperation sometimes and sometimes we don't.
Right, okay.
That would absolutely, traveling down these long dirt roads.
Yes.
If you go down one side of it, you don't have to come back and drive.
Right.
Back down the other side. those are things that we can do, and we try to do that, reach out.
Okay.
Obviously, we don't ask for too much because of the situation that we're in. And we are not gonna make it a resident,
Right.
issue. This is an us issue, and as Mike stated, look, we're throwing everything we can at this.
I understand it.
Everything.
I understand that,
We're
man.
not pulling back one
Right.
dollar.
I understand that.
And so, and this is the situation that we're in. The offers we made out to the managers, they've been accepted.
Right.
So that as soon as we get them onboarded, which drug testing, which background
Right.
checks are pushed back weeks.
Yes.
Because of staffing in other locations across the country. So we're doing what we can to get folks on board so that somebody doesn't get a dirty container or a broken container delivered out. You got so many eyes to watch, so many things going on, and we all know that there's a ton of things going on.
Right.
But, whatever is said, I want everybody to know, there's not a dime being spared to make this thing work, to get it done. There isn't. I mean, these rates, what we're raising these drivers to, and it's the right thing to do. I mean, if we're going to get employees to do this job, we're gonna have to pay them. And then sometimes that doesn't even work. We gotta get them in the door to start.
I understand that, but the 3 or 4 problems that we're having, the things like telling them they're gonna pick it up and you don't, I mean, that's something y'all can do, or things that,
Yeah, and Commissioner Hines, I
Yes.
have addressed that.
Yeah, okay.
So when a route doesn't finish.
Right.
Okay, it comes back to the dispatch office, and they generate that call blast. is
Right.
what it's called, to automatically go out to the customer. In normal times, we're there the next day. We don't let trash go off 2, 3, 4 days. We're there the next day, so that's why these call blasts. I stop those call blasts. So if they're going out still, I need to know about.
They are going out,
I
yes.
stopped them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they are still going out.
They are the next day.
They are still going out.
These things will still go, if somebody still goes online, this and that, they will still
Right.
see those things, but the calls should have stopped.
No, they're still getting them, okay? Okay.
All right, well, I certainly appreciate both of you being here. I think a couple of questions I have. You mentioned 3 new drivers that are currently in some form of training or onboarding. Where are they at in that process, and when do you anticipate them actually starting?
So with the 3 drivers that we have in the process training now, we have them set up at the week, later in the week of the 25th. So 2 weeks from now, we'll see those guys back. And we should have our 2 back that are on out on workman's comp right now. They should be back next month. So we should start getting them in there. And when we talk about being short 2 routes, with 3 drivers, and we're filling 1 with the swing driver, that's still just the bare minimum just to survive. We're not talking about anybody that can relief drive, so if somebody falls out, it puts that much more on it. We do have 3 drivers that we have extended offers to that have committed. They have yet to start with us. And when a driver starts, it's roughly an 8-week training process, especially if they've never done it before. They're new. So it's roughly right at 8 weeks before we're going to cut them loose. And even when we do that, they're not going to be out there and be proficient. They're going to get lost. They're going to do things that they should be doing, turn around spots at the wrong places, things like that. But for the first time in a while, I see some light at the end of the tunnel as far as getting some folks in here. We've got roll-off drivers. There's been another acquisition that's happened in our area, which is we're getting some activity from that as well. So, for the first time in a long time, 2 months, I see some light at the end of the tunnel of getting a little bit more activity coming in, to interview. We're talking to some folks. It's getting better. Obviously, raising our wages the way we have is a nice incentive. And like I said, our existing drivers here, one of them went from $18 to $21 in one day. And we've done that, and we've got everybody else raised incrementally based on their line of business and tenure. And when we bring in a new driver, for example, somebody's been working in the waste industry for 10 years, at another operation, we won't bring them in at the bottom, we bring them in at a 5-year equivalent of what our pay scale is. So we're doing everything we can, increasing the pay time off. I mean, it's 120 hours of paid time off, not including any kind of sick time. So, I mean, we literally, as a company, as a site, we pulled out every stop to get some people coming in the door.
All right, thank you. How many of our municipalities in Elmore County have been notified that they are being non-renewed or their contract is being expiring?
Expired, 2.
2? Are others, is that anticipated to happen across the board, or is it when, I know they're all probably on staggered contracts, but,
All scattered contracts,
okay.
but I don't anticipate it. I can't see the future, but I don't
So
anticipate
2 have been notified, though, and that is Eclectic and Wetumpka. All right, thank you. I'll add one more. We met, I think, with your management, both of you and others, and several of us were in attendance in that meeting, and we discussed a lot of things. And, I felt like the meeting, there was a lot of information shared, and there was a lot on your part of inquiring from us what we thought might help, or what, a lot of idea sharing, I guess I'll say. And, I left that meeting feeling like there was a lot of progress potentially made, or at least an understanding of that. And, I feel, for example, as Commissioner Hines stated, we left that meeting with the expectation that we would get reports every day, and we just started getting reports 2 or 3 days ago. So that's been at least 4 weeks that we went where the expectation was that those reports would be coming, and then we just get them starting a couple of days ago. So, I think there needs to be, and I do recognize the issues that you're facing with staffing. I don't think that you're alone in that. I think that's a lot of industry, your industry and many other industries. And I think some of us are facing that in our own businesses that we own, and that we are faced with challenges of hiring or keeping competitive wages or retaining employees. All of those things are issues. But at the end of the day, we've got to get and feel as though there's some level of goodwill. And when we come to a meeting and we provide you with these things, and then, we go such an extended period of time without getting the report, for example, it just feels like, and I know your wheels are spinning, and y'all, and I appreciate your ownership of the problem. I'm reading a book right now, Extreme Ownership. It's great, and you guys are owning it. I don't know what's happening above you. I can't speak to that, but locally, I feel like you're owning it, and I do think that, there are opportunities for small victories and goodwill, and we say it every time, and it happens a little bit, but then we miss the ball on things like that. And, as Commissioner Hines said, I would give these CSRs a script of like 8 responses, and they're not allowed to say anything else. I mean, because they want to help people, and they're going to tell people what they want to hear so that they can get off the phone and answer the next call. They're not doing it intentionally, but it is causing a major issue, and it's causing an issue for you and for your drivers and everyone else. So, for what it's worth, that would be an idea that we are sharing with you, is come up with a solution as you're onboarding all of these new CSRs. That's wonderful, but as we all know, numbers isn't the only problem, right? I mean, they've got to be effective employees that are accomplishing the mission that you've set forth for those CSRs. And if they're not doing that, then, it doesn't matter how many you have. So you've got to find a way to make sure that they're conveying the right message, because what I hear time and time again is, if they would just tell me the truth. People, if their trash is picked up a day or two late, they're frustrated. As soon as it gets picked up, they feel great. They forget about it in many cases, but they don't like being told that it'll be there before 11 a.m. or the truck will be there in the next 12 hours or by the end of the day today. They just don't like hearing that. And so, you can help yourself a lot by trying to eliminate some of those types of reassurances to people. Other than that, I hope that you're successful in hiring drivers and offering them a lot of paid time off, maybe, tell them they can't take it for 6 months or something, because that's great, but we don't really want them to get hired on and then start taking time off. So, other than that, I think we've said what we say every time. So, Commissioner Lewis?
Yes, and one thing that has been a main issue that's been emailed to me is routes are just being completely missed. I don't know if it's because we have new drivers and they don't know, but they'll go on and do like a major county road and they'll pick up one side. And then the other side is calling me, Ms. Lewis, they didn't pick up my side. Or, for instance, Highway 111 is here and they pick that up, but they don't go down Crenshaw Road. Or they go down Crenshaw Road and then they turn on Chapel Road. This is just my district, that's why I know where they are. They'll pick up all of Chapel but won't turn on McCain. So McCain Road for the last 2 weeks didn't get picked up at all. And I spoke with one of the service reps and I was told that Gotham Pass didn't even show up on y'all's database. And I counted the number of trash cans and residents there, and there were at least 8 trash cans. So that's a big complaint that I've been getting. And just to see that their trash wasn't picked up for weeks, and it's just been missed completely. So that's been a big issue that's been reported that I've seen. And I'm sure my fellow commissioners also had that happen in their district and areas as well.
What was that road again?
Which one? Gotham Pass.
Gotham Pass.
And also it was happening out in Millbrook on South Edgewood Road. I had a resident that called me, I believe twice where she was at. And it's a major roadway. And she told me, Ms. Lewis, they just keep missing our trash cans. And it's at the end of the road. And it's just being missed.
That one trash can or the entire road?
The entire road. It's like a whole road of people are being missed.
You mentioned McCain, too.
Yeah.
McCain?
McCain.
Yes.
Yeah, and Gotham Pass is like a cut through from McCain to Gotham Switch, and so.
And I think I even did it with your area too, Troy. Didn't they stop at Chapel?
Yeah, on Chapel
and
Road, yeah.
It was like they did half, and I'm not sure what happened. But that's the main complaint that I'm getting is, well, we saw them and then they didn't come down our road and get our trash. So I don't know if that's just training that needs to be stressed to the driver so that that's not happening.
Van, of the 8 drivers we have, how many are seniors?
The 8 drivers we have running in Elmore, we have 3 of those 8 are 10-year drivers. And I'm a 10-year like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Most of them are less than that. And it is a training thing, and sometimes our technology gets the better of us. I've addressed some of those situations like that on the way those are statused in our computer. There was an option available to status the road. So we had some folks statusing the road, and once that happened, all those other stops disappear off of their, or show confirm.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
So I'll check up the Gotham Pass, but we've changed that. So now they can't status anything off all at once. It is an individual status. So that is helping, but there's still a lot of training that has to happen with our new folks.
Yeah, Thank you, Chairman. Just one comment and one question. I hope you can appreciate the fact that we're trying to share things with you that we hear from our citizens that are most frustrating. And so we want you to be successful. We understand you're having some challenges. I mean, we all are. As Commissioner Stubbs made reference to, there's a few of us up here that are having staffing problems. So I understand what you're saying. But just know that we're trying to help share with you what we would really like for you to address. The report that where we're running late, that really helps us. I know it helps me specifically because I'm able to speak to someone with some knowledge when I get that phone call at 7 o'clock at night that we do get. So just understand that. Second thing is you made reference a minute ago to the fact you would be okay with us putting customers putting their can on one side of the road. I know months ago we had a problem with cans being missed because the drivers did not know that that customer that can was actually a customer, or they were paying their bill. I can't remember the specifics, but I do remember we were having a lot of people that were missed getting their trash picked up, even though their can was out there. So my question is, if we were to encourage just on an individual basis, people to cluster their cans on one side of the road, or your driver's going to know to pick them up, or are they going to say, well, there's only one can in this yard, now there's 4. I mean, what kind of problem is that going to cause for your drivers?
So when we were experiencing that, we did dealer drivers at that point only pick up what is on your route sheet so that we could start addressing those parts out there that don't really belong to anybody. We pulled the plug on that program a long time ago.
Okay.
When we started having our shortages and started missing routes, not finishing routes because of that. So we went back to, if it's there, pick it up.
Okay.
And so we can go back and work with the roads from one side. We don't want somebody, we definitely don't want anyone, let alone an elderly one, to try to pull their cart across a 2-lane highway. If it's some dirt roads and that's doable, and that's a safe way to do it. So we can definitely work on that, but we have pulled the plug on essentially what our folks were doing was looking for the non-address, and we were neglecting our customers, actual customers that are set up.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
And one, if I can address the communication reporting, and that's going to be on me. And I take that. I sat down with Kyron actually later last week, and I'm like, look, we look like we're not listening. We look like we're not doing anything. We got to get this information out, and excuse the expression, but nobody likes to pull, and hang their dirty underwear out. We just don't. And that's where, one of my guys got into was, it just feels wrong to tell him, we had 2 people call out. We have somebody's sick. We had this, that. I said, but it's what's going on. It's what's happening. We need to express that. We need to let folks know. So the reporting piece is on me. I encourage my team to we don't ever want to get complacent with that and get comfortable with the idea of nobody coming to work or not being staffed. But it's the raw reality of what we're dealing with now. So we're going to be better at getting those reports out to let everybody know what is happening.
We're not sending them out to everybody. All we're doing is just keeping them in-house. So be assured, we're not sending it out to anybody else. But it's good for us to know when, like Commissioner Mercer said, it's 7 o'clock at night, he gets a call, and he can say, oh, yeah, they're going to finish y'all's route tomorrow. Here it is right here. And that's great news.
I just look at it and hope that it's his routes that are missing, not mine. And if that happens, then
Well, I send them to Commissioner Hines. So it's a vicious circle, right?
All right. Well, gentlemen,
Thank you.
we certainly appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move to our next item, new business. We'd like to invite Ms. Tay Knight from the Family Sunshine Center to come up and address the commission.
Who knew that domestic violence could be less controversial than waste management? So I just want to thank you for allowing me to come up tonight and talk a little bit about our agency again. I know you all know who we are and the services that we're providing in the community. I want to thank you for, once again, including the Family Sunshine Center in the budget allocation for this year. That is a huge help to us being able to meet match requirements on our federal grants and to be able to continue to provide and expand services in Elmore County. We have a proclamation, which I hope you've seen and been able to acknowledge. Just a little bit about some statistics that I share each year for everyone who's here. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will be a victim of domestic violence in their lifetime. Our campaign this year is focused on trying to help individuals understand and learn more about domestic violence and understand that it's not always physical violence. It's not always a female with a black eye or a bruise or a broken arm. It can be verbal abuse, financial abuse, emotional or tech abuse. Technology abuse is growing rapidly. And it is, again, all about power and control by one individual over another. We see so many times that people talk about the person was intoxicated or they were just mad. It's not really the reason that people abuse each other. One person wants to have power and control over the other. So again, Domestic Violence Awareness Month is about bringing awareness to the issues. And this month, in addition to bringing awareness to the different types, we're asking everyone to make a commitment to yourself and your community and to society at large to try and understand more about the issue, about the crime that is committed during that act of physical or physical aggression, and then to understand how you can interrupt those acts of aggression if you see them happening through bystander intervention, and just help to make our communities a better and a safer place for all of us to live, to work, and to play. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We certainly appreciate you being here. We've got a proclamation here signed, and we'd like to get a picture together with that. We appreciate all you do and your staff. I think many of us, not only in Elmore County, but throughout the country and the world, are aware of the recent example of domestic violence that's been all over the news with Gabby Petito and that circumstance. But I think it's important for us to recognize that those same things are happening right here. It may be your neighbor, it may be at a school, it may be in our community. So we need to be aware, and I appreciate you making us aware of the services that you provide. So if you'll come up here and we'll get a picture together. Come on around here. Just come up
I know.
here. Here, just come on this side
This side?
here.
All right.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Well done.
All right, our next item on the agenda to discuss the memorandum of understanding pertaining to proposed improvements at the Elmore County Health Department complex. Mr. Byer?
Chairman, Commissioners, the last week in September, we received a memorandum of understanding from the Department of Public Health regarding some proposed improvements to our Elmore County Health Department facility. As many of you know, the county owns that facility and allows the Department of Public Health to utilize that as per state law. They are proposing to put about $210,000 worth of improvements into the facility. Most of them are related to a generator that can run the facility. We had some issues at the onset of COVID when they were running some of the testing and then the vaccine through the facility, and they want to make sure it's got a generator backup that is built in instead of having to use a remote one. And then they want to make some improvements in the parking lot and security upgrades to the facility. They had an item on here about some additional storage and placing a storage building on the facility, but Mr. Tim Hatch with the Department of Public Health followed up with us on some questions and learned that the commission was already proposing to put in a new storage facility for some of the same items that they were going to store, so it will serve a purpose for them as well. So they're going to be able to take that money and be able to put it into some additional improvements on the property. So this MOU just has to be approved in order for them to make the use of the federal funds available. And then they will be coordinating this with myself and the facility manager to make sure everything is in order. So far, they've answered all our questions, and we've made sure it's in the best interest of the county to proceed forward.
All right, thank you. We appreciate that. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none. Next item, discuss ACCA workers' comp contract, the 3-year renewal. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in front of you, you've got a small little spreadsheet with some green highlights. I just wanted to give you a little synopsis of our current status with workers' comp and liability fund. And as you're being asked to do this 3-year renewal, one of the things that comes out into that process is a longevity bonus. So if you look at the spreadsheet, you can see in the workers' comp fund that from last year to this year, our premium actually decreased some. That has to do with a lot of the programs that we've put in place to help our employees and the departments be more efficient with their work and safer. Credit goes to the departments and to Ms. Courtney Clements, our Chief Administrative Officer. You can also see our dividend and our workers' comp self-insurance discount program award of $7,500. We've maxed out in both categories. So in a nutshell, we're going to get additional coverage over the next year for the same or less cost than what we would have paid in premium, and then we're actually getting a refund back on top of that. So in essence, we've got $60,000 roughly in premium, and then if y'all go forward with the renewal on the workers' comp, there'll be another close to $18,000 in discount that we will get back as well. So the only thing that really changed, and it's related to the liability, where that premium went up, we actually had to report additional items that were just covered for liability, and we added things like newer pieces of equipment, newer sheriff's vehicles. We actually put the Drug Task Force building in play. So all those things went into that little increase, but if you look at it from the total scope, we had a very minor increase compared to the things that we added in the additional value. So in a nutshell, that's just saying that's to say that the self-insurance funds are a very good program for us to stay involved in. We'd be hard-pressed to go out to the private market and do anything like what we're doing with the ACCA funds.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? All right. We'll move to our next item. Consider approving the sheriff's request to utilize the 40% funding from Fund 169 to assist in the purchase of P25 radio equipment for the sheriff's department. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the sheriff is in the process of upgrading his radios to a digital radio platform, the P25 system as it's referred to. One of the mechanisms he wants to use to fund the radios is Fund 169. There is a local act that pertains to the expenditure of funds. Anytime that he wants to expend funds, there's 40% that is required to be approved by the county commission for him to expend those funds. We have reviewed the purchase with him, and in total, he's looking to spend about $200,000 for outfitting all 60 of his units. It'd be our recommendation for y'all to approve his request to utilize this discretionary fund for this purpose.
Thank you. And this Fund 169 comes from fees?
Yes, sir. I think it's the process serving fees.
Thank you. Our next item, consider awarding bid inquiry 2021-16 and bid inquiry 2021-18, sale of scrap signposts and scrap signs to the highest responsible bidders. And we have the attached spreadsheet for our review. Any comments or questions there? Hearing none, consider authorizing chairman to execute construction agreement to resurface and traffic stripe Haynes Road from State Route 170 to State Route 14, project number STPMN-2620-256, ECP 264720. Mr. Byer, what's the distance of that approximately?
I'll have to pull that up
does that go,
Haynes is, that's the full length of Haynes.
okay, right.
So I
So
just
this
don't-
is, but this is part of the,
These
we're
are-
doing this at the same time as Jasmine Hill Road?
Yes, sir. The next two projects and this one are all let together. Let me just pull up what the
Right,
distances are.
okay.
I want to say that's like 3 miles, but Luke probably knows right offhand. Do you remember, Luke, what the exact mileage is? Under 3 miles.
Thank you. Next item, consider authorizing chairman to execute construction agreement to widen, resurface, and traffic stripe Jasmine Hill Road from State Route 9, US 231 to Wetumpka city limits, project number STPMN 2620-257, ECP 264820. And the third item in this group, consider authorizing chairman to execute construction agreement to resurface and traffic stripe Williams Road from State Route 21, US 231 to State Route 170, project number STPMN 2620-255, ECP 264520. Any comments or questions on those three projects? All right, hearing none, discuss awarding debris removal services and debris monitoring service Region 4 bids for the Alabama County Joint Bid Program to Looks Great Services of Mississippi, Debris Removal Services, Debris Tech LLC Monitoring Services.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, just as a way of reminder, after the 2011 tornadoes, the state did not have any type of debris contracts in place statewide. Our county worked with a couple other counties in the ACCA to establish this, and as a typical rule, every 3 years, we end up rebidding this. It's usually in place for a 3-year period. This is one of those 3-year cycles. Elmore County was selected as one of the region representative counties to do the actual awards. So that's why we're Region 4. I think there's 7 total regions across the state. This kind of mirrors the joint bid process in general.
Thank you. All right, next item, consent docket, approved travel memorandum, approved proposed plat for Harmony Cove Cottages, Plat 1, 10 lots, approved family medical leave request for Hannah Ellis, collection clerk, approved declaration of emergency illness for Hannah Ellis, collection clerk, approved 20-hour sick leave donation from Regina Marsh to Hannah Ellis, approved 20 hours annual leave donation from Regina Marsh to Hannah Ellis. Personnel notifications, notification of hire of Austin Wilson, corrections officer, replace Jay Taylor, effective 10/10/2021. Notification of hire of Peyton Fuller, dispatcher Tier 1, replace A. Cowart, effective 10/10/2021. Notification of resignation of Tracy Reed, lieutenant, effective 10/13/2021. We'll now proceed. Reports to the commission. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, a couple items for you. One, you've got a large spreadsheet in front of you that is color-coded. This is an update on our rebuild FY21 projects. The projects that are in the pale-looking orange are projects that we do not anticipate being able to be complete by the end of October, which is the end of our chip seal season. Those projects will be carried over into the beginning of the spring of '22. We will be doing some work on those projects between now and April to try to get them ready. There'll be some that we have to wait until April because we don't want to leave the areas undisturbed without a surface on them that we reclaim. But the remaining projects, you'll see we should have completion of those here in short order in the next month or so. We've had 2 projects, Lower Gibsontown Road and Hidden Forest Trail, that were originally going to be projects the county was going to complete with county forces, and we've actually converted those over to allow the contractor to complete those with asphalt. They were of such a small difference in the scope that we felt like we could do that and make sure they were on par for this year. So I will say with all that, that's not the best news in terms of having to delay some of those projects, but as I counted this morning and talking with our chief engineer, Luke McGinney, we still have 7 openings in the highway department that have not been filled. Of those, 3 of them were new positions that y'all created with the 22 budget, so that's kind of expected, but that still leaves 4 positions, and most all of those are equipment operator positions. So that's kind of hindering us to be able to do things and get them done. We're trying our best to get things hired. You heard, Waste Management's woes. Well, we're having some of the same things, and we actually have fairly decent benefits to be able to offer. What we're seeing, though, is the private sector taking some of our employees away by paying them a little bit more, and that may or may not last for a long period of time. We've gone through ebbs and flows where we've seen that before, and some of those same employees that have left on good terms come back to us wanting to be reemployed in the future. So a couple other items in way of construction to update you on. 17 Springs, we had our pre-construction meeting last week for the beginning of Phase 1. We anticipate next week the contractor to move in his mobile office and get started with that operation. In addition, our Redland Road Bridge project is one of 4 sites going on with major work. To note, though, that project is Thursday. We're going to have a large delivery of beams to that site, 80-foot-long beams. There will be some traffic interruption. We'll be posting something tomorrow about that. The contractor has been working with ALEA and state troopers and our local entities to try to make sure we have good traffic control. But to be able to unload those beams, we will have to keep a lane of traffic blocked temporarily. It's probably going to be about a 5 to 6 hour window where the beams are being offloaded, but we'll try to share some images of that with all of y'all, so you don't have to be there in the traffic jam watching the beams get unloaded. But that's a pretty substantial process where they're offloading those and be getting the outsides of the new bridge ready, and that once those are done, then that'll carry the traffic that we'll, instead of having an off-site detour, we'll be actually detouring them on-site. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of report. Do y'all have any questions or comments for me?
Got a couple. Second item on the consent docket, are those internal lots or lakefront lots?
These are the lakefront lots that have frontage onto any campground.
Okay, thank you.
These are the ones that are in that slough, so.
Okay. And the other one, I know it depends on the weather a lot, but any guesstimate on the completion of total project on Cherokee Trail, the bridge?
The contractors back in and got good weather. They're hoping to have the culvert work done in the next 4 weeks. And then we've got to move in and do the backfilling, and then we still have paving to do on that once all that's done. So I think originally we told them it'd be the end of the year before all that was complete. Is that correct? End of the year? We said 6 months originally. 6 months. So we're still operating in that time frame. So.
End of the year? Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed now with reports from the commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Hines.
Thank you, Chairman. As you just reported on projects and stuff, we do have the Redland Bridge project working, the Fire Tower Roundabout and the Cherokee Trail Bridge are all the projects that's going on right at the present time. But the big thing that we're talking about tonight is I do with the commission and all our residents is our fall cleanup on October the 23rd and 24th. We've got several groups that stepped up, but we need a lot more. I'm going to brag on the Stanhope, Elmore, Millbrook area. A lot of their athletic teams have stepped up and made a commitment cleaning and working that weekend. So I'm sort of going to challenge the hopeful and Elmore County and the Tallahassee school system to step up also and to be a part of it. And some of the churches, I know Union has just committed to me that they'll be working Sunday afternoon with a group, and they'll be registering them. And I think there's a flea hop group, and Tim Tennell out in your area, Chairman, is going to have a group that's out there. So they're starting to come aboard, and I understand Titus Group, I'll meet with them on October 19th, and they're going to put a group together also. But the big thing is, I think every resident can just step out of their house and walk in any direction and pick up some litter on the side of the road and help the county on that weekend because our mowing, if I'm correct, we're going to be pretty close to be done with mowing. Is that right, Luke, on that? Yes. Okay. So I know they've really been stepping it up with the good weather they've had in the last few days and been able to cut the sides of the road. So I'd like to go into the holidays with people visiting Elmore County and see our roads clean and taken care of. So any volunteers would be greatly appreciated there. And sort of put a little challenge out to my fellow commissioners too, to see what they can do to step up in their areas too. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Daughtry.
I don't have anything at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Mercer.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, I have a few things I would like to report. One thing is, CETA, our Economic Development Authority, has hosted here in the last few weeks a Fishers of Men tournament on Lake Jordan, which brought into Elmore County about 100 boats, with on average each boat had 2 participants, and of course they all travel with someone most of the time to bring other people in. So for this 2-day tournament, so we always appreciated CETA's efforts that result in bringing people into our community, which serves to increase revenue for our local restaurants, retailers, and our hotel owners. So we appreciate that effort on bringing these tournaments in. I would also like to recognize CETA's newest staff member, sitting over here by Carrie Cox, Lisa Van Wagner. This is her first week with the CETA. She will be serving as a project manager. Lisa is from Elmore County and currently lives in Elmore County. So, Lisa, welcome to the effort, and we appreciate what you'll be doing and look forward to working with you. The last thing I have here is concerning the special session that Governor Ivory has called here in the last couple of weeks. I know we have all read about her having called a special session of the legislature to consider prison construction and sentencing reform legislation. While properly sentencing, imposing the correct sentence on citizens that find themselves in our legal system, Elmore County was specifically interested in the prison construction-related legislation that was a part of the special session. And this is because when current prison reform was first discussed, in probably 5 years or more ago by Governor Bentley, there was a possibility that the prisons could move out of Elmore County. Leadership in Elmore County was faced with this reality, and we knew that we could lose between 600 and 700 jobs in our county. We could lose a $170 million annual economic impact in our county, and that these 5 prisons represent annually. And we also could lose a high percentage of the water and sewage treatment capacity that some of our utility companies in the county provide to the DOC to serve these 5 prisons. So if we fast forward to today, at the end of this special session, the Elmore County was, I would say, we're a real winner in that session, along with the citizens of Alabama. Governor Ivory signed legislation and where the Department of Corrections will be constructing a 4,000-bed men's facility in Elmore County on land that's currently owned by the state. Legislation also dictated that Elmore County will be receiving the construction of a new women's facility in phase 2 of the process in Elmore County on land that's owned by the state. And the budget for the facility is $760 million. That's a lot of money. I don't care what you're doing or where you are. That's a large amount of money for it to be coming into our county. And the estimates are the ongoing economic impact will increase from $170 million to $200 million annually in our county. When this issue first came up, I was serving on our Economic Development Authority, and we knew that we were competing with 66 other counties for these 5 facilities, or rather, we now know would be one large facility. So that's a long time to work a project, and I just want to say a special thank you to our current county commission for what all they've done to support this effort, our Economic Development Authority and their board for what they have done, and all the other many stakeholders that have always said yes when we went to them and asked them to be a part of this effort, ongoing effort to help keep these prisons in Elmore County. And I want to say a special thank you to Senator Chambliss and Senator Barfoot, along with Representatives Ingram and Holmes for their leadership on this issue. You know, looking back on what we have been through to keep these prisons in Elmore County, and knowing all the many meetings and conversations that took place over more than a 5-year period leading up to this session, I do want to say a special thank you to Senator Chambliss for his role and effort in taking point on this matter. And I think all of his fellow legislative delegation members would agree with that he has spent a tremendous amount of time leading the effort and working with leadership on the state level to do what's best for the citizens of Alabama and also those incarcerated, which this will also result in Elmore County continue to receive the benefits from the presence of the Department of Corrections. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Lewis?
Chairman, no reports at this time.
All right, thank you. I certainly appreciate the efforts of my fellow county commissioners and all of our staff, and we obviously have many things going on right now in the county with construction projects and various other activities taking place. I'd encourage everyone to participate in your local community events. There are lots of things happening in the fall and winter in Elmore County. Lots of organizations putting on activities and events that are for families and others, and I think it's just a great time for each of us to reflect on and remember the value of living in a local community. I appreciate Commissioner Mercer's report on the special session. That was definitely a victory for Elmore County and the state of Alabama, and I certainly appreciate the leadership in the legislature and the governor's office for putting us in a position for Elmore County to be successful and to be a partner with the state of Alabama and the Department of Corrections in their ongoing effort to improve our corrections system in the state. I apologize if I've been a little bit sluggish today. I drove 8 hours back from Disney World with 4 kids for the last 5 days, so now it's like 5 days of recovery, I think is how it goes, but I certainly am grateful to be here and to be a part of this outstanding county commission and all the progress happening in Elmore County. We'll now have important calendar dates.
Saturday, October 23rd, and Sunday, October 24th will be the Elmore County Fall Cleanup. Monday, October 25th, 2021, we'll have a commission work session at 5 p.m. with the business meeting immediately following. Monday, November 8th, 2021, the commission work session at 5 p.m. with the business meeting immediately following. And Thursday, November 11th, 2021, the administrative complex will be closed in observance of Veterans Day.
Thanks. We'll reconvene shortly. Commission business meeting dated Tuesday, October 12, 2021. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll begin with an invocation by Commissioner Hines, following which Commissioner Daughtry will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our heads. Congratulations on the Father. Thank you for this wonderful day you've presented us, Lord. Thank you for letting us represent you out here every day, Lord, and to be a guidance and an ambassador for you. Congratulations on the Father. Go with each and every one of them out here with this COVID, that the families can cherish with you and work with you and know that you have their hands, Lord, and go with each and every one of us and guide us, Lord, that we may be good leaders for you. In the name of thy prayer. Amen.
Amen.
Let us stand. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Brittany, would you call roll?
Commissioner Hines?
Here.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Lewis?
Here.
We'll proceed now with regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the September 27, 2021 commission meeting?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of September 18, 2021 through October 8, 2021?
Motion approved.
Second?
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Proceeding now with new business. Is there a motion to approve the Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding pertaining to proposed improvements at the Elmore County Health Department complex?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve ACCA workers' comp contract, the 3-year renewal?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the sheriff's request to utilize the 40% funding from Fund 169 to assist in the purchase of P25 radio equipment for the sheriff's department?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve awarding bid inquiry 2021-16 and bid inquiry 2021-18, sale of scrap signposts and scrap signs to the highest responsible bidders?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve authorizing the chairman to execute construction agreement to resurface and traffic stripe Haynes Road from SR 170 to SR 14, project number STPMN 2620-256 ECP 264720?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve authorizing chairman to execute construction agreement to widen, resurface, and traffic stripe Jasmine Hill Road from SR 9 US 231 to Wetumpka city limits, project STPMN 2620-257, ECP 264820?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve authorizing chairman to execute construction agreement to resurface and traffic stripe Williams Road from SR 21 US 231 to SR 170, project STPMN 2620-255, ECP 264520?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve awarding debris removal services and debris monitoring service Region 4 bids for the Alabama County Joint Bid Program to Looks Great Services of Mississippi, debris removal services, Debris Tech LLC monitoring services?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented in the work session?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Any additional reports to the commission? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes.
Thank you. We are adjourned.